an encounter with God.
Here is an encounter with God, and what did he actually see about God?
You'll know it's true.
What was your encounter with God? What was it like?
Okay, well, my encounter with God.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Halo sobat muslim dimanapun kalian berada, semoga kita selalu diberikan kesehatan dan rezeki yang melimpah oleh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Di video kali ini kita akan membagikan sebuah video debat Islam dalam acara Speaker Corner bersama Mansur dengan seorang pendeta. Yang mana si pendeta berusaha memurtadkan seorang muslimah namun berakhir gagal karena konsep Tuhannya yang membingungkan. Sebelum kita mulai videonya, mohon dukungan dengan like, komen, dan subscribe agar kami lebih semangat membuat konten-konten Islami. Yang subscribe semoga sehat selalu dan dilimpahkan rezekinya. Amin. Oke, langsung saja kita ke videonya.
The difference between what we have to offer and what every other religion is really simple. If you wanted to meet God now, you could. Right? That's what I offer. Now, the first thing is, Jesus said, I am the truth, the way, and the life. He said, no one goes to the Father except through me. In other words, Jesus is also the gateway to the Father. Now, I've done this hundreds of times, where I've challenged people, right? Some have refused, not many, right? Some have accepted that they can have a personal encounter with God. There's no other way to get to Him except through Jesus. Now,
Is that testimony?
Oh, I don't.
if anyone, that's why I came up.
Sorry. Is that testable? Because when somebody claims...
Hang on.
Sorry. Can I make this...
Right? That's why I stopped talking to you because...
You stopped talking to me because I was using logical points, and you don't like logical points. And that's why you left the discussion earlier.
I'm moving in a supernatural. Now, if anyone wants
He's met God apparently. So can we test
If
you?
you want to meet him as well,
What does it mean meeting
have a
God?
supernatural encounter with God right now.
This is why I don't. This is why I'm not a Christian.
You're not
because
ready.
it's based on personal experience. If someone comes up to me and tells me I saw God yesterday, how am I gonna believe that? If I saw someone saying, "Oh, I saw a ghost," or "ghost on camera" kind of thing, to me I find it very hard to believe because
It's all personal
it's all
experience.
personal. It's not giving me actual facts
This is all
from the
so
holy book.
What's your name?
Ines.
Ines.
Yes.
Alright, I've met you, have I?
Yes.
Do you know what? I could tell 1,000 people out there that I met Ines, they go, well, who is she? Who is she? I mean, we don't know she exists. No, the only way I could prove you exist is not by photograph, right?
Yeah, you can.
Not by, no, because you can doubt the photograph.
Yeah.
Right. But if somebody met you, okay, and they know who you are, and you can verify it by your passport that you're really called Ines, then there's no doubt in their mind that they've met you, right?
Yeah.
Now, the same is with God. Now,
Well, the same thing with hallucinations as well.
He wants people who believe to then receive Him, and then when they believe, they'll receive and they'll see that it's true. Now, if you don't believe, then that's fine.
Okay,
You won't
so-
have an encounter with God.
Let's hear his encounter with God, and what did he actually see about
Once you
God?
do, you'll know it's true.
What was
And
your
then-
encounter with God? What was it like?
Okay, well, my first encounter with God was when the Spirit of God came literally in me.
What did it feel like? How do you know it was
I could describe it, although you weren't don't understand it in one simple way. I felt and experienced heaven literally enter into my entire being from head to toe, my mind, my body. I actually experienced heaven in me. Now that's the moment when God came in me. Of course, what we can experience when God comes in
I
me.
can't say that you're lying. I can't say that you're lying.
I can't say you're lying, but
Well, no, you can't, because I know what happened. It was November 1999.
Exactly.
Right? I remember the exact month. I think it's 23rd November. So I've, since that experience, I've had more experiences with God. Right? So the thing is,
Did he speak to you?
Yeah.
What language did he speak to you?
Wait.
Experience is something that
It may not be
in this world. Now I'll tell you why experience is important. Right? Go and get a job. Right? Go to get a job. They turn around to you and say, okay, what's your name, by the way? Gabriel. Okay, Gabriel. Yeah, I've seen your CV. Yeah, you studied this. What experience have you got? So people are
reading the whole book.
You see, they're interested in experience.
Anything objective that can be ascertained from
See,
this?
so employers want experience.
The problem with experience, from that I believe that experience has, sometimes experience is doubted in the sense that if I'm a patient, right, for example, this is not to be offensive to anyone who's religious or anything. If I have a hallucination, I have no doubt in my mind that I saw a leaf with legs. To me, that happened. You can't tell me that it didn't happen. To you, that's never happened. Who are we going to believe?
Yeah, does it make it objectively true?
Put it this way, right? There's a difference between what you said and meeting the God of the universe.
What's the difference?
Big.
In
God is
principle.
available everywhere and he can be met, right? Whereas you can't compare a leaf to God. So
I don't think God is available or can be met, because I tried to be religious before.
well, that's why it didn't work.
I was a part Christian.
Religion isn't going to get you to God.
No, but I wasn't religion
what's
in
the
the
point of
sense
the
of church.
Bible?
I wasn't religion in the
So
sense
when a Hindu comes along and tells her experience, how God came into her life and her divine presence like heaven, that's true as well, right?
I don't know, I've never met one.
Right.
That's
the point that we're trying to say.
What I'm saying is I don't
Personal experience is your personal experience.
Yeah, listen, you can't bring that up. You can't bring that as a fact or
You've got to
evidence.
make a choice at some point, right? Which is,
Can you make a choice based on personal experience?
is it true or isn't it? Now, let me just tell you, if one thing about religion, right, which I find really, really interesting, if you made up a religion, right, would you make up a religion that was easy to believe, or would you make up one that's hard to believe?
I don't know, that's a complicated question.
Understandable. Because that's the whole
I'd
point of
make up a
religion.
really easy religion, totally logical, easy to understand, make people feel good, right?
So that means Hinduism, which is very difficult to understand, cannot be a made-up religion. It has to be true.
It's difficult.
One moment. The logic that you're employing is here. Allow me to explain.
It's easy.
Allow me to explain. When there are multiple gods and the universe still stands as it is, it's very difficult to understand, because if there are more than one God, the universe would be in chaos and ruin, because one say, I want thunder here, I say, I want snow, I want rain, I want sunshine. One of the God says, I want you to live. Another God says, I don't want you to live. There will be corruption, chaos and ruin if there are more than one gods. Hinduism has more than one gods, or polytheism rather, and yet the universe is functioning quite nicely and smoothly. So that cannot be, according to your logic, a made-up religion. It must be true, because if it was made-up religion, it cannot be that complex and that nonsensical, that illogical. So, are you saying now all those religions, apart from yours, which are very complicated, very complex, very illogical, very irrational, other belief system,
Do you want to say my point?
other belief system, are you saying every single belief system other than your own is simple to understand and easy to understand? Or is there a belief system which is more complicated than yours, more more complex, more irrational, more nonsensical than yours? Does one exist?
I don't think so. No, I think it's.
So you're saying?
I think that to have a man die nailed on a cross, which was a way to crucify a common criminal, right? Which was the most evil form of execution ever known to mankind.
Were there belief system beforehand where God became a man or a woman?
Excuse me. Why would you make up a religion
There were.
where your God dies as a criminal? I don't think so, son.
Look. Were there other laws which believe that God? Do you not have an ideology about God?
My religion.
Do you have an ideology about God? An idea, a concept?
Yeah.
Good. So other than
religion.
not religion.
My books.
Other than your concepts of God.
Like one of my books.
Thank you. Other than your concepts of God, were there before that concepts of God where God comes down as a form of a creation, like a man or a woman, even maybe virgin birth, even maybe dying to save mankind? Did they exist before your concept?
So you don't, basically what I understand is you seem to believe in lots of different religions.
I'm asking you to show you the error in your thinking of your logic. You use a logic saying, look, the man-made religion, you would expect it to be simple, not very difficult. What I'm saying is, that means
They are all simple.
that means
Tell you the commonality between all religions.
one moment.
One thing in common.
One moment. Are you suggesting that yours is the most complex, most nonsensical, most irrational belief or idea or concepts on planet Earth today?
Yeah, for a natural man it is, yeah.
Okay, did you just hear what he said?
For a natural man.
This gentleman says his ideology is the most irrational, most complex, most confusing on planet Earth.
Did the Bible say God is not the author of confusion?
Well, I didn't say it was confusing, he had that.
Okay, so let me add to that. Is it the most confusing?
He's trying to cause problems.
Okay, is it the most confusing?
He's not interested.
Or is there less confusing religion or idea than yours? Can I rephrase my question?
Not really.
Do you have a belief system other than your own which is less complex than yours?
I command this situation to end right now by the authority of God.
Do you see that?
Right?
Now he realizes his logic doesn't work, then he has to end the conversation.
I do want to end it because
Do you know
I'll come here to debate.
you know all
I'll
the
come here to
prophets,
find one person.
the prophets and messengers of the past who were appointed by God?
Yes.
They brought a consistent message, and we understand quite logically and rationally why he has to be consistent. Because he can't say to one people, you know what, I am God and I have a mother, and none of the religions says, you know what, I am God and I have a half brother who's half monkey, half elephant, whatever, something like this. This is not a consistent message. It will be confusing to the people. You expect the same one God, true, the same one God to consistently reveal the message about his oneness. Yeah? So this oneness message we see quite clearly in the whole of the Old Testament. There is no message about Trinity. And when you see Islam coming along into the scene, destroying those ideas and this mantras he's using, that none of them makes any sense. The only consistent message is of Islam.
Yes.
That God
I am
is.
Muslim. I am.
Yeah.
Oh.
The only consistent message is Al-Islam.
In this book then.
Are you offer me the books and you take it away?
Oh, you might be interested because this book talks about the Trinity. It shows how man is made.
It shows how it's complex, right? Confusing. Or is it simple? Because if it's simple, it's man-made. If it's complex and confusing, it's
Paul said
divine.
that the message of Jesus dying on the cross is foolish to those who are perishing.
So the more complex and confusing the religion is, you should. Yeah, the more foolish a concept is, it's more believable according to your logic.
It means that it takes a bigger leap of faith to believe something.
Yeah. So to you, a religion that doesn't make sense is a divine religion. Okay, so that's religion.
I know.
Okay.
You see, the thing is,
The concept of God, excuse me, look, I know you're trying to use mantras and all this touch feelings and that's come on. I can perhaps heal you too right now, right? So let me start. What I'm saying is this. Are you saying Are you saying, my
Has
friend?
Muhammad got
Are you saying?
power to heal sickness
Are you
or not?
saying
he never
the concept of God doesn't have to make sense?
Ciao.
Excuse me.
What about the other prophets?
Don't you know Muslims don't shake hands and you want to force our hands shake? Listen. Hello. Are you suggesting
Jesus can heal.
the idea or the concept of God has to be confusing to be true? So the gentleman is basically second time he's just trying to end this conversation. This time it's quite interesting. The gentleman's point is a religion, a way of life, a belief which doesn't make sense can only be the true one. A way of the concept of God, if it makes sense, it cannot be true. So he's admitting. Do you agree with him, by the way? Do you agree with him that the concept of God that you have doesn't make any sense?
The concept of God that I have,
Yeah.
the concept of God that I have, that Jesus Christ is God.
No, concept of God that you have, do you agree it has to make sense to you?
Yes.
Good. So what this gentleman was saying, as a
It makes sense to me.
yeah, it has to make sense to you. Otherwise, you might believe in a potato god, or a banana god, or a monkey god, or an elephant god, star god, moon god, planet god, sea god, sun.
All those things could be God for people.
Yeah, but as you realize that these things, once you understand, it will make no sense to you. Why? Because these are all limited, finite, and dependent. So the gentleman that we're discussing coming up with a new branch of Christian concept of God, it has to be confusing to be believable, it has to be confusing to be true, it has to be confusing.
Nah, jadi kesimpulan debat antara pendeta dengan wanita tersebut adalah, si wanita muslim ini dibuat bingung oleh si pendeta ketika menjelaskan tentang konsep ketuhanan Tritunggal. Dan akhirnya pendeta tersebut kabur dan gagal memurtadkan wanita muslim tersebut. Demikian video dari kami, semoga bermanfaat.